Ziranmen.
Ziranmen literally means nature and is a Taoist influenced term. If you are familiar with Chinese martial arts, you may heard of Tai Chi Chuan. So Tai Chi Chuan is a big field with a lot of different styles, sub-styles, lineages, and a big part of their training concept is to run forms. Forms are sequences of movements, techniques, poses, or whatever you like to call them, which can be run from minutes to hours. All in all, the form concept is not just something you will find in Tai Chi Chuan. It's quite an important aspect for the majority of Chinese martial arts. Of course, Tai Chi Chuan practitioners would argue that there's more to it than just movements. And I believe that. But imagine Tai Chi Chuan without forms and you get a quite good idea of what Ziranmen is. And now some of you will have some question marks in your head. Because what is Tai Chi Chuan if there are no forms? Simple. What's left there are single movements, techniques, postures, or whatever you like to call them, which are being practiced as single motions and not in a sequence. But it's not like an on-off concept. While we are practicing, we try to keep the state of song for the whole unit. It's to a degree similar to pole exercises. Ziranmen is, like most Chinese martial arts, a striking art, where we try to achieve high impacts through efficient and force-oriented body structures / force vectors. And now let's clarify something before we will go on with this series. I have a background in Mantis and Tongmei boxing and found my home in Ziranmen. And like my teacher, I also have some knowledge of Western boxing. I believe that traditional martial arts faced more or less similar problems and found similar solutions to solve those, especially when it comes to Chinese martial arts. Anyway, because I always get some questions about my lineage and therefore I will put it out again, our Ziranmen is not another lineage of the Du Xin Wu Ziranmen. It's by itself a completely different style and they have nothing to do with each other. Okay, they are both Chinese martial arts. And for those who are following me on Insta, Facebook and YouTube, I know I'm mentioning this quite often. But for viewers who can't speak Chinese, it can be very confusing because it's simply the same name. Why is that so? As I mentioned, Ziran or Ziranmen means nature, and therefore practitioners of Chinese martial arts who have a Chinese teacher will hear that term once in a while, and maybe quite often, in form of Ziran, to emphasize less stiffness or else. So it's not so uncommon to find identical terms for naming styles. For example, Liuhemen, Liuhebafa, and Xingyi Liuhe. 3 different styles, but emphasizing the Liuhe concept in the name. This was part 1 of our Ziranmen series. In part 2, we will go deeper into the engine of our style. And that's our training methods. Thank you and stay tuned.